Welcome into the Cowboys Report, made possible today by Roan. I am Tom Downey, as we take a look at some of the top players to watch for the upcoming massive football game against the Philadelphia Eagles. It's going to be a thrilling game, two teams that, as Dak Prescott said, probably will face each other again later on in the postseason, most likely. Dallas at home, again, is a narrow favorite against Philadelphia. That does, at least as of filming, they're the narrow favorite. That does make sense, basically inverted of what it would have been, what it was when Philadelphia, was at home. Before we get going on today's show, we didn't do it on our earlier preview. We're doing it on this one. Troll Chase and Chuggs by spamming F Chase and F Chuggs in the comments section. Whoever comments the most gets a shout out on our live show on Sunday. All right, top players to watch. Number 10, let's check in on Terence Steele. He has been better since a terrible, horrible, awful, no good, disastrous game against Philadelphia the last time these two teams played, but he's still been up and down. That game against Philly was the worst I've ever seen him play. 4 sacks, 1 hit, 7 hurries. Against the Giants, 2 hurries. Against the Panthers, 2 hits, 3 hurries, so not great. No pressures allowed against the Commanders. Also, their pass rush is terrible on the outside, so that makes sense. 1 hit, 4 hurries against Seattle. That's a little bit of a troubling game. The Eagles' pass rush is the best group of guys he's going to face in this kind of 5-game slate. He can't be as bad as he was. He was a huge reason why Dallas came up short among a litany of, one-play games. You got a bunch of one-players that could have changed it drastically. Got to be better. I've seen mostly better play in the past month. With the extra time, the extra recovery time with the mini-bye, need to see even more. So what is your confidence level in Terence Steele right now? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. This will be today's pinned comment. So if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know your confidence level in the Cowboys' right tackle, Terence Steele. Number 9, we'll stick on the offensive line here, Tyler Biadasz. I have been kind of whelmed by him so far this year. The numbers are not that great. 3 sacks allowed. There's 2 hits allowed in there. 16 hurries, by the way. It's an awful lot for a center to have allowed this season. The run blocking grade has not been particularly impressive either. I've just been disappointed by Biadasz. I was hoping for a breakout season. I know he's battered and bruised and all that stuff, but talking about what he did last season, the penalties have gone down. It's always a good sign. But you're talking about last year, he had allowed 23 pressures total. We're at 21. And we've got a bunch of games left to go this season, so I need to see more out of Biadasz. And relative to other centers across the NFL, the 21 pressures is tied for 5th. Now, there's extra games in there, and also includes Tyler Larson, who got benched, who played 5 games and has already had that many pressures. But that's not a good group to be mixed in there. And it's not like the run blocking's been so great to override it either. Number 8, Daron Bland. He had been awesome entering Week 13, and then he was terrible against Seattle with just a horrible performance. Great numbers here from PFF. I think it was PFF Brad who tweeted these out. Weeks 1 to 12, Daron Bland had allowed 30 catches for 341 yards, 1 TD, allowed 9 explosive catches total. Against Seattle, 8 catches for 169, 2 TDs allowed, 4 explosive catches. There was also the drop by Lockett that he should have caught, and the incomplete that was absolutely DPI call on Jackson Smith and Jigba. So Bland got the interception. That's great. He was bad. I don't know if it was an off night, if something's figured him out. I don't know. I think he's better on some of those kind of comeback routes than he is, maybe some of the deeper stuff, but that was a bad game from Bland. It was an unacceptably bad game, frankly. Forget it's been awesome so far this year. He has to bounce back, or that's not going to cut it against Devonta Smith, A.J. Brown, etc. Now, today's show is made possible by Roan. I am rocking one of their commuter collection polos, and you should too. Roan has something for every occasion. Pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, polos. You never have to worry about what to wear when you have the Roan Commuter Collection. They have comfortable 4-way stretch fabric that gives you breathability and flexibility that leaves you free to enjoy whatever life ends up throwing your way, whether it's just the commute home from work, 18 holes of golf, maybe just 9 holes, since it is getting way too dark too early these days. I hate it. I guess that means I'm old now. And they've also got anti-odor gold fusion technology as well. The Commuter Collection can get you through any workday and right into whatever comes next. Head to roan.com/chatsports and use promo code chatsports for 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order when you go to RHONE.com/chatsports and use code chatsports to find your corner office comfort. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. Number 7 is Deone Clark. Could have gone Marquise Bell here. I was very upset with the way. It was the one play that Rashaan Evans got beat on. Don't put him on Tyler Lockett. I don't know what to do there. I want to see a little bit more from Deone Clark at linebacker. He's been good this year. By the way, very quietly is going to have 100 tackles this season, which is a good thing. I would like to see a little bit more flash in coverage, but I think it's more of a safety issue than it's been Deone Clark's issue. Only 4 TFLs, not that bad. He's been fine. He hasn't been like a massive liability, but I would love to see some splash impact plays against this awesome Eagles offense. Number 6 is Jake Ferguson, the tight end. He had himself quite the day against Seattle. He also kind of under the radar has been really good this season. 46 catches, 498 yards. I thought he was highly impactful against Seattle. This Eagles defense, their weakness is along the spine of their defense, in the middle, the nickel corner, the linebackers, the safety. So Ferguson could be in for a big day against Philadelphia. Number 5, literally any safety do something, please. I beg of you, what is going on out here? The Cowboys safeties have been one of the bigger disappointments for me of this season. You can look at who has not played great this year, like the surprisingly low-graded players. It's Jaron Kearse, it's Donovan Wilson, it's Malik Hooker. Malik Hooker's been fine-ish. He just doesn't get beat, and that's kind of his job as a back-end safety. So Hooker, I'm not mad about Hooker. But Jaron Kearse, I thought has been a wonderful find for Dallas, and he has seen his play fall off a cliff this year. It was bad to begin the year, got better, then he was a big issue against Seattle. Donovan Wilson was this splash play machine last year. Where have they gone, Dono? And that first Daron Bland touchdown, that's on Donovan Wilson for me. He gets sucked way out of position. Bland thinks he has Wilson behind and tries to undercut it instead of just tackling Metcalf. Wilson's out of position. Honestly, we should be playing Wanye Thomas more. I get that the veteran stuff, but I have been very disappointed by the safety position. Somebody has to step up in that back end. So name a player you need to see step up against the Eagles. We're not having any quarterback talk. We did a lot of that on the earlier week preview. That's, again, on the channel. You guys can go check it out. But beyond the quarterback, because that's too easy, name a player you need to see step up against Philadelphia. Number 4 is Tony Pollard. I thought Dallas, again, tried to run out a bit too much against Seattle, the first down runs. Pollard's now above 4 yards per carry, 4.1. He's heading in the correct direction from his statistical standpoint. But I've also been, I don't know, this is kind of Pollard / the offensive line here. The efficiency's down. Dowdle seems to hit the holes and run harder at various points. But it's not like Pollard's holes are there, too, and then he's just missing them. They keep going to that heavy personnel package, and they're going to go, we're going to win with power, and they can't win with power. It's a real red flag there. But I think Pollard's been a bit better the past few weeks, at least. Ground game has too. Number 3, it's DeMarcus Lawrence. Look, this Cowboys defense, we talked a lot about this on the earlier preview, so I'll be limited here. You guys want to show you're this top defense, this hype defense, not just a front runner group that only plays good against bad teams for the most part? show up. Now, I will say this. Every time you need a run stop, it's Tank Lawrence. Every time. Go back and watch all those fourth down plays. Tank. And then, Micah, who we'll get to in a minute. So I think Lawrence remains. He's not going to be a 15 sack guy ever again. That's fine. He still does a lot of the dirty work for you and really helps your team out. Now, we, of course, will be live for the Cowboys-Eagles Sunday Night Football matchup. Do not miss out. Hit that sub button right now, youtube.com/CowboysTV. The number 2 player to watch, CeeDee Lamb, the wide receiver. We are now in the your best players have to have their best games against good opponents stage. Lamb is one of your best players, bar none. I think if you're ranking your top 3 or 4, he's undoubtedly in there. 90 catches this year, 1,182 yards, 7 TDs. He has been just an absolutely dominant football player. Whether it's inside or outside, they've moved him around to great success. Love what I have seen from Lamb. Paid that man his money. He is worth every cent you give him this upcoming offseason. And then finally, since we're not doing the quarterback, of course, it's Micah Parsons. He played very well against Philly in the initial matchup. Need him to continue to make big plays. Only 11.5 sacks. Didn't have a sack against Seattle, but he was highly impactful. I mean, again, here's why we get so bent out of shapes over sacks sometimes. We'll ignore the fact that he had 7 pressures. He didn't get a sack to end the game against Seattle. The result is the same. He got the pressure because the Cowboys did a great job to destroy the offensive line blocking rules of you're going to show a mass blitz. You have to unprotect somebody, and the rules are you're going to unprotect Micah, which is a terrible way to go about it, but still, he got home, not a sack, ended the game. 20.3% pressure rate is unbelievable. It is an unbelievable rate. It means every 5th pass rush, he's getting pressure. That's truly like peak Lawrence Taylor stuff. Players don't do that. So show up again against Philadelphia, Micah, and let's get this dub.